Welcome, Mike here from Rocket Sports Cards. Out of Bounds coming to you live tonight with a very special presentation. We've never done this before. We're going to have our NFL 2020 prediction show. I'm going to be joined here in a moment by Brandon, my co-host. We will bring to you our 2020 predictions for division winners, conference winners, Super Bowl winner, along with major awards, and we will also have a bold prediction for each of us as well. We're just showing this as a preview on Facebook. To watch tonight's programming, you have to head over to YouTube and watch this exclusive programming. So as of right now, we're going to turn this off on Facebook, and we'll see you over on YouTube. Okay. For those of you that are already on YouTube, welcome to the show. We'll give everybody a minute to filter in. At this time, I'll bring in Brandon. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing very well. I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be a great show, something completely different. And remember, if you're watching, we want you to comment. We want you to like the videos as you're coming along, and you can agree or disagree. We're okay with that.
Yeah, so tonight, I'm always out of the box with predictions and opinions, so you may disagree or agree with what I'm going to say. Probably disagree because it's not really what the professionals have picked. I want to say hi to Jay, who's commenting here. Yeah, we got, we're not going to say the name, but a local local startup company. We went with their teas tonight. We didn't have the time to have the funky chai. But just anybody out there that wants to chat along, feel free to do so. If you agree with our picks or disagree, just let us know. Maybe we'll listen to what you got to say, and we'll say it on live here.
For sure.
All right, so without further ado, we got quite a few live viewers on already. If you're watching on the replay, definitely like and comment. Also subscribe to the channel as well.
Big Al?
Big Al's online. We want to know what you guys think. We're always putting new programming out. We have our regular Out of Bounds program on Monday nights. This is just football. Yes, Jay, just football. It is a football preview show. I'm super excited for the season to start. We talked about this on Monday on Out of Bounds. The NFL, to me, is the best presented league in the world. Well, I don't watch everything. I don't watch soccer, so a lot of people say soccer is the best thing to watch. But I say for the four major sports in North America, football is the one that really gets me up and going. But yeah, so we're gonna start off.
You in any pools by chance? Any football pools?
No, I didn't get in one. I might do one later tonight just to get in one. But
a bunch of teachers are throwing one together. I got to get in on it.
Yeah,
I got to predict for tomorrow's game, Houston and KC.
Yeah, who knows early in the season. We do know that soccer. Hector, where are you from? It looks like we have a new viewer, Hector, online tonight. Let us know where you're from, Hector. I do want to say that one thing to consider when early in the season for football, it is kind of a well-known fact that the running games, the teams with the stronger running games, come out faster than the passing teams. Mexico.
Nice.
No way. Welcome to Out of Bounds special presentation, Hector.
Hola, amigo.
Nice to have you on. Whereabouts in Mexico, Hector? As we're talking to Hector, we'll get started. I believe we're going to start with the AFC East.
All right.
We will throw our prediction up there. I've got Buffalo winning the division. You agree?
No. Oh, yeah, I do. Sorry. I thought you were going to talk. Go ahead.
No. So I have Buffalo winning the division. I see New England having a down year. I've been listening to other professionals talk about how Bill Belichick can make a winner out of anybody, but losing 7 players on defense before the season even starts due to COVID, 7 guys opted out not to play. That's a huge hit for them. The other thing is Cam Newton, in my opinion, and this is Out of Bounds talk, folks. Cam Newton, in my opinion, is a loser. Not to say that he's not a nice human being, but I don't think he can win a big game. I don't think Cam Newton is a winner in that sense. Yeah. So Cam Newton, to me, cares more about his image than he does about what happens on the football field nowadays. But maybe that's going to change in New England. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I do have them finishing second in the division. But with a 7-9 record, I think they're really going to struggle because they've never been they've never really been known for their running game. It always complemented Brady.
Totally contradicts everything you said about the running game.
That's right. So I think they're going to come out of the gates very slow with a new system with Newton at quarterback as well. You might see them struggle, with timing and stuff like that. Remember, there was no preseason as well, so I think New England has a lot of trouble coming out of the gates this year. Obviously, you can see I have Miami and New York Jets at 4-12. That could change too. I could see the Jets. They got a young quarterback too. You never know when these guys are gonna strike gold for you. It might be the year for Sam Darnold. Miami's got Tua coming in. I don't think he's the starter there. They're going with Fitzpatrick
they're going with Fitzpatrick to start.
But he's looking over his shoulder, and you don't know what's going to happen. So we got a lot of comments to catch up on. Oh, this is American football. Sorry, actor.
Sorry.
And I did give a shout out to soccer early on. If you do want to, then I say Buffalo too. Okay, he's hanging around. Buffalo for Hector. The Jets will do better. Bell should start the season for a comeback. Not winning the division. That is very true. I don't think the Jets or Miami have much of a chance.
No, they're terrible.
But it depends. It really depends. I think Buffalo is running away with this division.
I don't think they're going to run away with it, and I think the only reason that I don't think they're going to run away with it kind of is in contrast to what you're saying about the running game. Cam Newton is a potential running threat that New England hasn't had a chance to kind of showcase before, with Brady being so immobile. If Newton can throw for a bunch of TDs and run for a bunch of TDs, then it makes the Pats harder to defend. New England still does have a pretty solid secondary. I mean, they've got Stephon Gilmore in the back, so I mean, they're not going to be challenging. They're not going to be challenging them. So I've got New England at 10-6, but I do have Buffalo winning, and Josh Allen. I have a couple of question marks about Buffalo. If all goes well and the cards line up, I've got Buffalo winning the division. That is, Josh Allen's going into his third year. He's got Stephon Diggs as his number one. But Stephon Diggs...
Newly acquired Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, but Stephon Diggs also is nursing a back injury, and anyone who's ever had a back injury, that is a long time to come back from. That's not like an ankle injury that you can wrap up, or, carpal tunnel syndrome, or something, a sprain. You can't wrap that. If you twist wrong, then it floors you. It's pretty debilitating.
You're getting pretty in-depth here with your with your back injury talk. I want to say this right now. Josh Allen, Big Al puts up a good point there. Josh Allen is the class of the division. I'm going to go a little bit further. I think Josh Allen might be a top 5 quarterback in the league after this year. I think Josh Allen reminds me so much of Ben Roethlisberger.
Is it a bold prediction?
It's not my bold prediction. It's not. I have 2 bold predictions. Actually, I've got quite a few bold predictions that are going to come at the end. I will throw this out there, though, but watch for Josh Allen to possibly be an MVP candidate out of Buffalo. I think Buffalo's defense keeps him in every single game.
I agree with that.
I think that alone, and Singletary coming back at running back, I really think Buffalo is the complete package. Josh Allen, without Diggs last year, had a great year. They were a playoff team. Throw him another weapon, see what happens.
Unfortunately, you just can't rule out Belichick, because Belichick, I mean, with like the 2 tight end system that he ran, and with a couple of years ago in the playoffs where he had eligible receivers coming off the line and stuff, like he finds loopholes to exploit, and I have a sneaking suspicion that with Cam Newton, he's going to try to exploit some loopholes, and I think it'll be a lot closer than what you're thinking.
Okay, bold prediction. New England has a terrible year. Bill Belichick retires at the end of it.
Oh, wow. That's not
the bold prediction. That's my bold prediction for this division.
Okay.
All right, moving on to the AFC North.
All right, AFC North.
We just mentioned Big Ben. So we'll throw our standings up there. I'll let Brandon start off this one.
All right, I got Baltimore running away with this division. They are going to ground and pound the football. They set a record last year with almost 3,300 yards. They are going to crush Lamar Jackson, another year under his belt. He's got a great offensive line. J.K. Dobbins is going to keep defenses on their toes with him as an extra run threat. They only lost 1 defensive player last year, so they're going to have a stout defense going into the season, and I think Lamar Jackson is going to put together an MVP-type season like he did last year.
Okay, so I'm in agreement with Brandon on this. Baltimore will win the division handily. They will also get a first round bye. I see them as the number 1 seed in the AFC going into the playoffs.
Me too.
I don't think anybody's going to stop Baltimore in the regular season. Back to the run game. Very good run game. Add in the fact that Lamar Jackson is one of the best running backs in the league, and he's playing quarterback. So you've got that. He's got a lot of options, right? So when you go into a game, you have to. What the hell is that, T? When you go into the game and maybe the passing game's not as crisp to start the season, you got multiple weapons in the backfield with Lamar. So I think Lamar Jackson has an MVP caliber season. We'll see that. We'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah.
But interesting. I do have Pittsburgh going 500. I think the NFC is gonna dominate the AFC in interconference this year. What we didn't take into effect is the 7th playoff team.
Yeah.
We didn't really go with 7 playoff teams here. We went with 6. So our playoff predictions are going to be a little bit off, but you're going to get the gist of which teams are going to make it. I've got Pittsburgh as a wild card team. Pittsburgh, if Big Ben is healthy, they might have a Super Bowl color, but you can never count them out. If Ben's healthy, Pittsburgh's always in the conversation as being definitely in the conference. Definitely. I don't think they'll win the division because Baltimore's a powerhouse now.
Yeah.
But if Pittsburgh gets into the playoffs, they can cause some serious trouble for a lot of other teams.
Well, they made the playoffs last year with Mason Rudolph, right? And now that you have
No,
Ben,
Pittsburgh didn't make playoffs.
Are you sure? I thought they were
No, I
thought they were wild card last year. Anyhow, so they were really close. I think
I might be wrong, but I don't
they
think
were really close to making the playoffs if they didn't, and they made it with Mason, or they potentially almost made it with Mason Rudolph. With Ben Roethlisberger coming back, an infusion at quarterback. Yes, he is 38 years old. Is he going to be a little bit slower with the elbow injury? Be. But their defense, you cannot count their defense out. And defense always wins championships, and Pittsburgh has always had a stout defense. So I expect Pittsburgh to be competitive, but I don't think that they're not going to make the playoffs this year.
Ben is close to Social Security. There's a lot of quarterbacks in the league that are close to Social Security. Look at your top 5 quarterbacks, or not the top 5 quarterbacks, but there's probably 5 quarterbacks in the league over 35 years old.
Yep.
You got Brady,
Breeze,
Ben. What's his name in the Raiders? Or not the Raiders, San Diego.
Rivers.
Phillip Rivers.
He's not in San Diego. He's in Indianapolis now.
Okay, so Phillip Rivers. But yeah, there's a lot of elder statesmen at the quarterback position in the league. It's changing though with the new guard. I'm going to say a little bit about Cleveland. Cleveland's a wild card, right? Because Cleveland and Pittsburgh could easily flop on that for me. Just because of the fact that if Ben doesn't come through and the injury maybe hampers his play, I think Baker Mayfield may have a breakout season. He's due. I think they've got one of the top, I would say loosely one of the top 5 running backs in Chubb. They've got it all. They've got all the weapons there to succeed. It's just why head, right? So I think it's all on Baker this year. We're going to see one of these things. If Baker doesn't do it, they're going to start talking. Are they going to draft another quarterback in Cleveland?
I think it does come down to Baker Mayfield. I mean, he had a ton of weapons around him last year. He had Odell Beckham Jr., he had Jarvis Landry. They did add some guys to their O-line, so hopefully that'll keep Baker Mayfield up. I think he got sacked like 52 times or something last year, so he was on his back a lot. It's really tough to throw the football when you're on your back that much. So it really does come down to him, and don't be surprised that if he doesn't compete, looking at the trading block.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cincinnati. My bold prediction is that Joe Burrow is going to have a season-ending injury.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
like
my bold prediction.
Like a knee?
That's my bold prediction for this division. I didn't do one on the last division. He gets the keys to the kingdom right away. Right?
Yes.
He took over for Andy Dalton, and now he's got the keys to the kingdom. He does have A.J. Green, and he's got Tyler Boyd.
A.J. Green also coming back off injury, too.
Yeah, so I don't think that Cincinnati is going to be anywhere near competitive at all. They're going to win some easy football games.
I think they'll beat the likes of. I think they'll split maybe with Cleveland and Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Baltimore will roll them twice.
Yes.
Pittsburgh
will beat them.
Pittsburgh. I think it'll be a home and home type thing.
I think Pittsburgh will win both games, but I don't think they'll be
split with
blowouts. I
Cleveland.
think they'll be close.
Yep.
So I don't foresee Cincinnati doing anything in the division at all, outside of potentially the 1-1 with Cleveland.
Okay. What do you guys think of the AFC North predictions? Pretty good show tonight. We got quite a few people watching live. If you're watching live, I've just noticed on my phone's going crazy over here. We've got quite a people subbing to the channel right now.
Good.
That's good.
Excellent.
If you haven't done so, hit the like and also subscribe to the channel. This is our NFL prediction show. It's our weekly show, Out of Bounds. This is a special presentation. Make sure to go back and watch other episodes of Out of Bounds if you want sports talk. And we promise you that it's not something you're going to hear on the regular networks, folks. We go out of bounds, as the name says.
And keep in mind, we're also not paid professionals.
We are not paid professionals.
This is just two guys chatting sports.
That's right.
Like we would if we were sitting around chatting with you.
But if anybody wants to pay us, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely.
Moving on to the AFC South.
AFC South.
Okay, he just signed a massive deal. We have Deshaun Watson. Looks like both of us have picked Houston to win the division.
Yes.
What else do we need to say about that? Deshaun Watson is always an MVP candidate. Again, double threat, just like Lamar in Baltimore. He can throw, he can run. Lost one of his major targets this year in DeAndre Hopkins. He's not there anymore. Is J.J. Watt healthy enough? There's a lot of question marks in Houston.
Neither running back last year ran for over 450 yards either, so that's going to be a question mark if they can establish a run game.
Okay.
You're like, okay, whatever.
No, I'm reading the board here, and you have everything. You didn't put them in order.
No, I didn't.
So
I
so I'm like, wow, Jacksonville's second at 3-13.
Because I did this graphic well before you got me this stuff. I just punched it in. I didn't have time today.
I got you. So I'm looking up at the board there, and we're both in agreement that Houston will win the division.
I have Tennessee playing tighter than what you do, though.
Tennessee. So here's the thing. I think Tennessee and Indianapolis both hinder each other. Okay? They will split games with each other. The only team I see in that division as dominant is Houston. I think Houston can beat one or both of those teams twice. But I think Indianapolis and Tennessee will split with each other, giving the extra win, giving the extra boost to Houston and putting them up.
I think Tennessee or Indianapolis will play harder. I mean, they signed Philip Rivers to a 1-year deal, $25 million. He's got a lot to prove. Otherwise, he's going to be in the broadcast booth.
Yep.
He does have a lot more around him than what he did when he was at San Diego. He's got Michael Pittman. He's got T.Y. Hilton. So, he has targets that he can hit. And Philip Rivers is very much, even at his age, still a gunslinger where he is just going to whip that ball around. And if you have speed like T.Y., then you can spread the field. But I don't think he stands a chance against a Tennessee or a Houston. Their defense is too smothering. Houston, maybe, actually, he would have a better chance against Houston, I think.
Houston reminds me a lot of, say, like the New Orleans Saints, where it's just a 35-31.
Yeah, where they're putting up a ton of points each game. But I think that Tennessee will get to him, will bust through that offensive line, and I think that they'll smother Philip Rivers.
Oh, okay, so we're pretty close on this. The only team we're different on here is Tennessee. Yeah. Both in agreement that Jacksonville will have probably a terrible year.
Yeah, they're not good.
They're going to be in the hunt for the first overall pick. Who that would be, we don't know yet because no college season this year by the looks of it. But
it'd be Trevor Lawrence. Wouldn't it be Trevor Lawrence? I'm guessing it'd be Trevor Lawrence. He'll be the quarterback. He'll be the number one pick if he decides to leave Clemson.
Okay, so we are moving on to the not much to say about the AFC South. Tell us what you guys think of the prediction. Actually, 3 really good teams. So this is the division. This is what happens with football. There's a ton of parity in football. You can go from being a 3-13 team one year to a 11-5 team the next. That's how quick it can happen. It's the only sport where you see it happen. A lot of it has to do with franchise quarterbacks. A lot of it has to do with established offensive line, defensive line. It's just one of those sports where you never know what you're going to get. AFC South, probably one of the top 3 divisions in football as far as parity goes.
Yeah, it's a good division.
You can literally throw Houston, Indianapolis, and Tennessee up in the air and see where they fall, and that's where it's going to be.
Yep.
So we'll move on to the AFC West now, which has one of my bold predictions.
All right.
The AFC West, also not in order. We both have Kansas City winning the division and also receiving a bye. Mine is the second bye. They will get the second home field spot behind, Baltimore.
Baltimore, yep, I agree with that.
But my big thing here is I think Chucky finally takes the Las Vegas Raiders into the playoffs. He's done being a 500 football team. I think they take a step forward and go 10-6 this year. I just think they're too well coached, and they're going to be too disciplined not to come out of that conference with a playoff spot. They also have a weaker division.
That's the bold prediction, eh?
That the Raiders are going to make the playoffs, one of the wild card teams, and the reason being, you can knock Denver down to probably about a 5-11 team now,
Which is what I did.
because Von Miller looks to be out for the season now.
Yeah, he's.
I think they're not telling us what's happening there, but I think it's a torn Achilles. So career over probably for a football player.
Yeah.
The LA Chargers again, like a bottom dwelling team. So you're looking at Las Vegas maybe running. So what you could probably say here, make it or break it for Derek Carr. Derek Carr, another elder statesman in the league.
I agree with that. Yeah.
What you can say about this division with Denver and the LA Chargers both taking Denver taking a massive hit before the season starts. Kansas City and I keep trying to call them Oakland.
Yeah.
Kansas City and Las Vegas should both go 3-1 in the division. Or sorry, 5-1. What am I doing here? Kansas City would likely beat the Raiders twice.
Yep.
So you're looking at Las Vegas probably going 4-2
Yep.
in their division. Kansas City's going 6-0.
Yep.
Okay. So when you give Las Vegas 4 wins out the gate through the division, I can see them getting to a 10-win mark, because that means they only got to go 6-4 non-divisional games. I think they can do that.
I do not remember what their schedule looks like, to be honest with you.
We don't know what
I'm pretty sure they
like.
had a tougher schedule than some of the other teams, though. So that's
well,
why
they don't now with the Chargers in Denver.
No,
they don't have a tough.
No,
schedule
divisionally
now.
they're set. I mean, the Chargers are garbage. They're starting Tyrod Taylor at quarterback, and he hasn't played since 2018. So
that was one of my bold predictions, that the Raiders would finally break through and have a playoff
what we
season.
need to do is come back to this and see how close we were.
Absolutely. We'll keep our standings and our stats, and we'll let you know at the end of the year. Maybe the day after the Super Bowl, we'll come back and look to see how we did. Or we'll have a Super Bowl preview show. Maybe we'll do that. We'll go over what has happened since then. But this is our prediction for the AFC. Do you want to go over the playoffs now for the AFC? Did you get that?
I didn't put the graphic together for the playoffs.
Okay, but can we talk about it?
Go ahead.
All right, so the AFC so we don't have the new format. So if we were going by the 16 playoff format, we would have Pittsburgh at Houston in the wild card round. I've got Houston winning that game.
Yes.
Okay. I've got Las Vegas going to Buffalo in the cold weather and losing to Buffalo.
Buffalo's got a fantastic team. They're going to kill Vegas.
I then have Houston going to Kansas City. I have the major upset of Houston beating Kansas City finally.
I will disagree with that.
Okay. I have Buffalo at Baltimore, and the curse of Lamar will remain. I have Buffalo beating Lamar.
Oh, wow.
Buffalo has a smothering defense, a fast defense. They will just ground and pound Buffalo to death, or ground and pound Baltimore to death, and squeak out a win
I would disagree with that too.
Against the Baltimore Ravens. So there we have it. It would be Houston versus Buffalo in my bracket in the AFC Championship, and I'll wait to give you the winner of that.
And I had Baltimore-Buffalo for
Okay,
that.
so we were close.
Yeah,
So did you have Buffalo beating KC then?
I had...
they have to get there some way.
Yeah, it would have been Buffalo.
Or Baltimore beat
beating KC.
How, though, if they're the top 2 seeds, they'd never face each other to the conference final?
It's a good question. I can't remember exactly how my math worked out on that.
It's like me. Math's not my thing.
Yeah, no, I'd have to have the bracket in front of me to actually see it. I can't remember what I did, but I won't tell you. It'll make sense when I have my Super Bowl prediction.
Now to one of the biggest divisions in football. We will start with the NFC East.
NFC East.
The NFC East. Looks like both of us have Philadelphia winning the division. Both of us have Dallas roughly the same. I have them at 9-7. You have them at 8-8.
Yeah.
I think Dak Prescott has a terrible year because it's a contract year. It's in his head all year. Major injury possibly. Career over. Should have signed the deal, dummy.
Yeah.
We talked about this on Out of Bounds, episode 1, the premiere episode of our YouTube channel. Is Dak Prescott an idiot for not taking the money? If you've noticed anything in the last couple weeks, Deshaun Watson took the money. DeAndre Hopkins made his own deal. He did his own deal. He has no agent. He signed his own deal, worked out all the details. We talked about agents in sports Monday night. So good on him for not spending that 3% on an agent.
When you're that good, though.
When you're that good, you
can,
okay.
You can pretty much demand what
and
you want,
and he gets money where
won't pay.
He's going to get paid wherever he goes.
Yes.
We both have Washington being absolutely horrible,
Yeah,
and the New York Giants. So for me, the Giants in this are a wild card. I have them at 7-9. I do want to say that the Giants could absolutely. You never know with them. They could literally flip the script on everybody. Saquon has a huge year. You know what I mean? Like it's all set up for them to do well, especially with the running game probably getting things started. Ezekiel Elliott, to me, huge. I guess I would say he is to your John Tavares. Overrated. So
okay.
Ezekiel Elliott, to me, he's kind of like. They talk about him like he's the next Barry Sanders or the next this guy, but to me in the running back world it's Saquon and then everybody else right now. He looks so much better than everybody else, and I'm not even giving Christian McCaffrey any respect.
Christian McCaffrey would be
but Christian McCaffrey, obviously, I don't even have Ezekiel Elliott right now in my top 5 running backs in the league.
Wow.
Because I gotta have Chubb in there.
Yeah. If they use Elliott properly, where it's not just give him touches, give him reps, and you tire him out, you can get a defense to bite on the run and give Dak Prescott a little bit of time to at least look down the field.
No, I get it. The run opens up the pass.
Absolutely.
But what I'm saying, though...
Or Prescott can run. He's not as fast, but he can get you some yards if the line of scrimmage breaks down. I agree that Elliott. Top 5, you say? I'd put him in my top 5.
That's fine.
I put him in my top 5, but I
don't think he's far out of the top 5.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he's not my top 5 right now.
I do agree with the contract thing being. I think Dak Prescott is going to try to overplay himself, where he's going to want to prove that he's worth money like Patrick Mahomes or what's that other guy who just signed? Deshaun Watson, and he's going to be throwing things that he shouldn't be. Don't be surprised if
his interceptions go up.
Don't be surprised if he has a high interception career or high interception year because of that, where he's going to be trying to force things and thread the needle, and I don't think he has that accuracy.
So here's what I'm saying. You see these standings up there. Dallas 9-7, the New York Giants 7-9. In the crazy COVID world that we're in right now, don't be surprised if you see those two teams flip. Will it happen? We give Dallas the benefit of the doubt because they were there last year in the playoffs. So we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. But I think they're going to struggle out the gate. Dak's going to struggle. Maybe we can't predict injuries, but you never know. I think Dallas, if Dak or Zeke go down, they're done.
That is a
So we got Cooper Gallup and C.D. Lamb, maybe the best line in football. You would think that's on paper, but we'll see what happens on the field. I think Ezekiel Elliott, as crazy as this sound, I think he's kind of soft. I think he plays a little soft. He doesn't play like Saquon where he just runs through a wall. I think Dallas needs him to just put his head down and run. I think he's trying to do a little bit too much Barry Sanders-esque juke and jive type stuff.
maybe.
I think he needs to go back to being a power back and just, extend the play down the field, run, first down after first down, because that buys Dak a little bit of leeway on his end too.
I think he could be better utilized as a receiving running back.
Yeah,
for sure.
So, anyways, tell us what you think about our NFC East prediction. We're going to move on to the NFC North. Hey, you're in agreement with me. You got the Bears in the playoffs.
I do have the Bears in the playoffs, yes.
You have Minnesota. We're switched on Chicago and Minnesota.
But I'm hesitant about the Bears in the playoffs.
So this was one of my bold predictions. I think the Chicago Bears are going to win their division and also have a first-round bye. Not the first seed, but the second seed.
Okay.
I think the Chicago Bears got off to a horrible, horrible start last year. They never really got on track. Mitch Trubisky has to do it now.
I question Trubisky. That's the biggest concern that I have for Chicago is, can Mitch Trubisky actually deliver?
Okay, so here's what you need to know about the Chicago Bears. So the last 4 or 5 games of the season, Mitch Trubisky looked like old Mitch Trubisky, and they played very, very well. Okay, David Montgomery did not really get off the schneid last year. He never really got, the play calling must improve. Michael Trudell knows as well.
Yeah.
So Nagy knows that he has to dial back the playbook a little bit for Trubisky, which is fine because we're going back 30 years now. If you have a good offense, the Chicago Bears can win the Super Bowl because they have an extremely talented defense.
Their defense is phenomenal.
The defense keeps them in the games. Their special teams always keeps them in the game, gives them field position. They just need a guy to manage the offense and not lose the game. Going back to Jay Cutler was the same thing, and then even before him, Kyle Lorton literally went to the conference finals, replaced by Rex Grossman. Rex Grossman took him to a Super Bowl. Where are they now? You know what I mean? Like, they never had to have an elite quarterback. They just have to have a good quarterback. Sexy Rexy got him to the Super Bowl.
I
That's
have
right.
Chicago's defense probably top 3 or 4 in the league. I've got Baltimore up there, San Fran
I hope
up there.
that's not a bold prediction.
That's not. I've got Chicago up there, Baltimore up there, Buffalo up there, and San Fran with them as the top 4 defenses that maybe not in that order, but the top 4 that I can think of.
So you may ask, why do I have Chicago ahead of Minnesota? Minnesota lost 7 defensive starters.
Yeah, I know.
So Minnesota right now is a shit show on the defensive side of things. In a division where defense wins games, because you're playing in the cold for most of these games, except for in Detroit in the Dome, defense wins you games. Minnesota will not have that this year. Kirk Cousins, again, another guy that's an elder statesman.
Not as old. He's not in. I think he's late 20s.
No, I think he's older than that.
Yeah, I think he's in his late 20s.
If anybody gives us...
if he's very early 30s.
Okay, so, but what we're saying is it's a young quarterback's league now.
Yeah.
It's just going to be so hard for them to win games. Lost Diggs.
Yes.
He's got less weapons, and the defense is definitely not going to be as good as in previous years. The big thing on this, one of my bold predictions here, the big thing here is that I have Detroit and Green Bay at 7 and 9. You're saying Detroit as good as Green Bay? Yes. Okay. Detroit has a decent football team as long as Matthew Stafford is healthy.
I agree with that. They were averaging 25.5 points last season.
Okay, so Matthew Stafford, also their coach coming over from New England, had 1 year maybe to get things underway in Detroit.
Yeah.
Give them another year, see what happens. I think they're close to a 500 football team if everything goes right. If everything goes right, career year for Stafford, everything holds up. The big thing is Green Bay. Detroit's defense, of course, is a train wreck. We know that, but it is an offensive league.
They are, yeah. It is.
So Detroit can beat Green Bay because it just comes down to the gunslinger thing. Like, can Stafford outperform Rodgers that day?
Yeah.
Because Green Bay, again, what do they have? Obviously, the best defense in the division is easily the Chicago Bears. Best special teams in the division probably goes to them as well. The quarterback argument is probably Detroit-Green Bay tie, but can you really win with just a quarterback? Okay, so Floyd says Green Bay is done. He thinks Minnie takes the division.
I got Minnie taking the division too. Just real quickly, bold prediction about this. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't perform, he's been having problems with management. They're not listening.
Whoa. Did you see my bold prediction?
Okay, okay. All right, I'm going to...
bold prediction for this division. I think we're on the same wavelength here.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers demands a trade.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say don't...
Aaron Rodgers is already on thin ice with management,
yes.
or management's on thin ice with him. Don't be surprised if Aaron Rodgers, by the end of the year, trade talks
even before the end of the year, depending on how things are going.
I think Green Bay starts out like 2-4, 2-5. Rodgers doesn't look very good.
That would be the worst thing that could happen for him.
And by say American Thanksgiving, Aaron Rodgers trade talks are already happening. And then who knows? I don't think he gets traded during the season, but
be surprised.
I really think Aaron Rodgers might be playing his last year in Green Bay this year.
I would agree with that.
Oh, Floyd Graham agrees with us. Aaron Rodgers last year in Green Bay. I think he's going to do the exact same thing that Brady did. He's going to go to a team and see if he can do it with somebody else.
With someone else. Which makes sense. I mean, he's been in Green Bay his entire career. Backed up Brett Favre. He's doing exactly what Brett Favre did.
Yes. So a really nice place to probably play football if you've played the entire career in the tundra. How about Carolina? How about a team like Jacksonville?
How about Miami?
Yeah. No, Miami's got their young guy,
but
right?
You know what? Yeah, they do. But are you going to really rely on Ryan Fitzpatrick to coach that?
No, but Tua will be the quarterback there. But I'm just saying, like, he's going to go south somewhere. How about this crazy prediction? Drew Brees retires. Aaron Rodgers takes over the Saints.
Oh, wow. He'd only be there for a year or two, though. I think
it could happen. Trust me. Anything's going to happen this year, or if anything happens this year, it's going to be this year.
I wonder what kind of money he would demand to go to New Orleans if he would take a deal just to win another championship.
No. So
okay.
There are no deals to be had. All right, so it seems like the NFC North, we got a lot of NFC North fans on here. Michael Trudell, Bears fan. You're a Lions fan. I'm a Bears fan.
I'm a Pats fan, buddy. Sorry.
No, you're a Lions fan.
No, I'm a Pats fan.
Oh, I thought you were a Lions fan.
Nope.
Well, I was handing you those Lions cards the other day, and you left them here. I was wondering why.
No, I was going to take them. I just forgot to grab them.
Oh, okay. Brett Favre goes to the Jets. I think he goes and replaces...
Oh, that's not bad. Sam Darnold he's in a year where if he doesn't do well, he could very well be pulling a...
He could also go to Cleveland, folks, if Baker Mayfield doesn't pull things through.
Yep.
He's going to go to a team that's in the 500 mark. Like, it's going to be a 7-9 or 8-8 team and get him over the hump. I think he's going to go to a team with a great defense, so he has less pressure.
Probably won't butt fumble.
What's that?
Probably won't butt fumble.
No. But anyways, we think everybody's in agreement that this may be Aaron Rodgers' last year as a Green Bay Packer.
I'd be curious to know what everyone thinks because I know there are NFC North fans out there. What do you think will happen if Stafford or if the Lions just go 8-8? I think Patricia's gone. I think Bob Quinn will have to fire Matt Patricia, and I would not be surprised if they fire Bob Quinn too. He's trying to put together the New England Patriots from like 2017, and it's not working at all.
Another reason the Chicago Bears win the division, because it is the black and blue division. They're the best team at playing black and blue style football, and they just drafted the best tight end in the draft.
Yeah.
And he will be your next Travis Kelce. Kmet, I think his name is. Cole Kmet?
Yeah.
Just wait, guys. Cole Kmet, if a quarterback doesn't win Rookie of the Year, he's a major weapon in Chicago by week 2 or 3. He's going to get Rookie of the Year for the NFC. Mitch Trubisky now has his down low target. Montgomery and Cohen can practice, running the football instead of, catching it out of the backfield. He's got a tight end. He's got one of the best receivers in the league too with Marcus Robinson. So he's got weapons, guys. He just needs to do it. So I've got Chicago getting a bye.
I got Minnesota getting the bye, but Chicago
making the playoffs. So we're pretty much closely in agreement there.
Yep.
Moving on to the NFC South. I don't think we're going to be in agreement here. The NFC South looks like we both have Atlanta in the 7-9, 6-10 range.
Yep.
We got a few questions to catch up on here.
Sure.
As Lions fans, Stafford deserves to be better.
But would you be okay with them tanking to get rid of Stafford, to unload the contract? Because he's got a few years left on his contract. He's making a crap load of money.
So could a Matthew Stafford could a Matthew Stafford maybe supplant Drew Brees?
Yeah, he could.
So you're looking at a guy
same style
quarterback. So you may see something like that too.
If they traded him, they would not trade him to a contender.
Well, they wouldn't trade him within the division, that's for sure.
1-for-1, Aaron Rodgers.
No. Oh, sorry. I meant they wouldn't trade him within the conference. Sorry, I got something on my throat.
They'd be gone for sure. I understand what you're saying. I don't think that they would trade him to any type of contender at all. I think that they would try to unload to somebody who's got prospects that they can just screw up the draft again. They'll go draft a running back in the first round or a tight end in the first round, like they notoriously seem to do. So that's what they would get for Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, definitely. Stafford definitely. Okay, so crazy scenario here. This is definitely not going to happen, but you put Matthew Stafford on the Chicago Bears, do they win the Super Bowl?
Yes. Yes.
There you have it.
I would say yes.
They have an elite quarterback at that point. Again, the Bears also the leash is very short with them too, so they can go to Nick Foles at any time.
Oh, absolutely. And he's a proven winner.
If Trubisky looks okay, but they're like, okay, I don't think we're going to win the division with this guy. By week 3, they give him 2 games. That's the leash.
Yep.
2 games. And week 3, Foles is the guy. So Trubisky's coming out on all cylinders. He's got a most heated division, the NFC North. Going to the NFC South now. Atlanta, both of us have Atlanta. So I'm watching the experts on TV, and they have Atlanta maybe making the playoffs.
Really?
I watched one of the networks last night, and they say Matt Ryan and Atlanta look real good right now. And I don't know what would have changed so much that puts them in that kind of conversation.
I wonder how they would do that with no preseason.
Those two,
how would they know that?
No, but with those 2 teams, New Orleans and Tampa, how do they have...
can't see that at all, unless they're expecting Tampa to just tank. I see New Orleans winning the division for sure.
I think we're in agreement on our two playoff teams coming out of this division.
But I could also flip Tampa Bay and New Orleans. Tampa Bay looks good. They've got a good defense. They've got Ndamukong Suh, Jason Pierre-Paul. They've got some guys who know how to play on defense. And now you've got some weapons. I know that you're not a Gronk fan. I know we talked about Gronk. I mentioned Gronk, and you were like, what do you think if Gronk's actually good? Teams will respect him. I don't know if he'll stay... I don't know if he'll stay healthy enough to last the entire season.
We had the Tom Brady conversation, and I'm setting the over/under through the air from point A to point B. He cannot throw the ball over 50 yards anymore.
Right.
That I set the number at 10 times this year. He'll make a completion, not an attempt, a completion over 50 yards. And when you have the 2 guys in the league that led the league in 50-yard receptions or more, you just brought them back a little bit. So you took one of their best weapons away with the deep ball.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Brady. Now this is yards after catch. I wouldn't be surprised to see Brady throw 5,000 yards this year.
Oh, I totally agree that he can do that. I totally agree that he can throw for the yardage. What I'm saying though is that by week 3 or 4, the safeties are gonna move up a little bit because they know they don't have to watch that deep threat anymore.
What I love about the coaching style, though, in Tampa Bay is that they are allowing, at least last year, they allowed the team, I mean, Jameis Winston was crap, but they allowed the team to be run by the quarterback almost. The offensive coordinator didn't do all that much. Like, I mean, drew up plays, sure, but they played to the quarterback's strength. And I mean, Winston threw like, I don't know, 1,000 interceptions or whatnot. If they allow someone like Brady, who has the vision and the football IQ, to run the offense the way that he wants, I think they're going to be really competitive.
Okay, you have 2 elite wide receivers.
Yes.
You have
Amazing
a former elite tight end.
Oh, he's a good tight end.
I don't think he can run with the league anymore.
And takes 3 guys to tackle him.
I get that. But I don't think Brady's going to have the time for Gronk to run his routes because Gronk's slowing down. So it's going to be quick passes.
But Gronk could block then.
Of course he could.
And then you could get someone into the slot, right?
But now, okay, so what I'm saying, what I'm getting at here is there won't be any double coverage. So you can't double cover anybody on that side of the football anymore because you got 2 elite receivers and a former elite tight end.
That's true. You have to be
I think they're going to let Gronk roam wild after about week 2 or 3 because they know that the receivers are a priority for Brady. Because I think you're going to see Gronk's numbers way down and injuries. So
you think Brady will get injured?
No, Gronk.
Oh, Gronk will get. I agree with that.
So Gronk has a history of being injured. You're going to see Gronk early in the season out. You're also probably going to see Brady not at his best.
But we also didn't even talk about Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, he brings
a different dynamic.
A different dynamic. Okay, they brought him in late. That's probably why we're not talking about him like literally within the last 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, he's
he's had no reps with the team as far as we know. So you might not see Leonard Fournette really make an impact till about week 3. Usually it takes a couple weeks. It's like when the Bears brought in. I'm a Bears fan, so I remember when they brought in Mac. He played about the first half of the first game because it was a late trade. By about week 3, he was a full timer, getting full reps anyways. So you might see Leonard Fournette get eased in because of the playbook and such, but we'll see. New Orleans, I want to say this. I've got them as a wild card. Being generous there, I do have both teams making the playoffs, but that could change. And the reason I'm saying that is we don't know what's going to happen. Injuries happen. Carolina across the board we think will be bad, but I'm saying that Atlanta is the true not a wild card team, but a wild card in this division.
In the division, because it could go either way. And I understand that.
You can never rule out Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. Like they're one of the best combos in the league.
They are. They're very good. Yeah.
So they are arguably the best receiver / QB combo in the league. Like Julio Jones is elite.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like
he's got a lot of gas in the tank too, I think.
Yeah, so it's one of those things. You don't know what's going to happen in Atlanta. They went to the Super Bowl a couple years ago. Well, I don't want to get into that, but that was complete BS. But you know what I mean? Like they're not too far out from that. Some of the key pieces are still there. Every year things change. Maybe they were bad the last couple of years, but like I said, you can go from 5-11 to 11-5 overnight. So
I don't think Atlanta has the depth if key players go down to replace those players.
I just think they throw a huge hiccup in this division.
Oh, they could potentially. Absolutely, they could.
And it could cost. And I'm going to say this right now. It could cost New Orleans or Tampa one of the playoff spots. If Atlanta splits with both of those teams, like has a really good game and splits with them, because as it sits right now, New Orleans and Tampa would have to split with each other and then go 4-0 against the other two teams, 2-0 against the other two teams, to get to those records. So does that happen, or can Atlanta slip in there with one win against those two teams? Anything can happen.
Oh, I agree.
And
if it's going to happen, it's probably going to happen early in the season.
That's right. We don't know what the season's going to look like either. If players get COVID, are they out? If your stars get COVID, they won't be playing. Like, we don't know what's going to happen yet. I just know that I'm extremely excited for it.
Yeah, for football.
I am so excited about football.
I can't wait.
We're not football experts by any means. We just have a sports talk show called Out of Bounds. And if everybody's doing NFL predictions, we're hockey guys. You know, we're Canadian. We're hockey guys. But we want to join in on the fun on NFL predictions. And we're fans of the game, so why not, right? Moving on to another really good division. So there's so much parity in football.
There is.
That's what we need to talk about, parity in football. We're going to the NFC South. It's our last of our 4 divisions.
NFC South, we were already there.
NFC West. Sorry, guys. We're on NFC South. We're going to talk about the NFC West.
All right, here we go.
Okay. So we're a little bit divided on Arizona, it looks like. I think Kyler Murray's going to have a really good season. I didn't factor in DeAndre Hopkins, though.
I did.
So I'm going to change my pick for Arizona. I think they're going to be a 500 team this year. I think they're going to be 8-8.
You think they'll get 2 extra games because
2 extra
of
wins
DeAndre
because
Hopkins.
of DeAndre Hopkins. He's that good.
He is that good.
He's probably the best wide receiver in football. So much like Calvin Johnson before Calvin retired. Just a big body, can catch anything. I'd say, in agreement, DeAndre Hopkins, easily top 5 wide receiver in the league. Easily.
Oh, I agree with you. 100%.
It's like
he's
Julio,
phenomenal.
It's probably Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins, Beckham's in there. Is he, though?
I would not put Beckham in there.
He's borderline. But you've got about...
If he doesn't have Baker Mayfield throwing to him, maybe.
Yeah, well, has Beckham ever had an elite quarterback throwing to him?
No.
Like Eli Manning was at the end, and he wasn't a real gunslinger by any means.
No.
He was what the Chicago Bears needed to win a Super Bowl.
Beckham can make plays, though. Like, he can reach way over his head and just,
yes. So Beckham, I still got Beckham as a top 5 receiver. In the right situation. In the right situation, he may be the best. That's the truth. DeAndre Hopkins had Deshaun Watson throwing the ball. Now he's got Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's got a cannon, too.
Yeah, he can throw.
So,
he can throw
if DeAndre can get down the field, I think you're going to see a lot of 50-plus yard catches for Hopkins, like a jump ball type situation. I think Arizona may be pushing a wild card here. I think the LA Rams... How far have they fallen?
Oh, they're terrible. I know.
Like,
they were the team to beat out of that
3 years ago, they were the team.
Yeah.
They looked unbeatable until you know what happened? And I'm going back to my Bears again. The Bears punched them in the mouth that night on, I think it was Monday Night Football. It was like a 12-6 final. They come in, high-flying offense, and then that was the first year they had Mac, and the Bears just, boom, you're done. And they never played good football after that again. They never did. It's like the Bears gave the rest of the league the blueprint to beat them.
Arlie, I agree with you 100% about that he draws coverage. The problem with Odell Beckham Jr. is that he wants the ball. And that he's got an enormous ego, and if he's not getting the ball, he's going to pout, and it's going to take away...
So, total agreement. So, if you have Beckham in a system that has 2 elite wide receivers...
Yes.
He's going to go off.
Absolutely.
He's going to go off because you cannot double cover both of them. Let's put it this way. Whoever gets double covered that day doesn't have a great day, but the other guy does.
Oh, if you're thinking about the team, I don't know if Beckham can think about the team, though. I think he's more ego-based. I think
Beckham's a possession receiver nowadays anyways. He runs short, quick slants. That's how he does his business. I never really seen him as a huge deep threat. He's more of a slant guy and
I don't think he has the size. Like if you,
no, he's a little guy.
Yeah, I don't think he has the size to go down the field and do a jump ball like with DeAndre Hopkins, for instance.
Floyd, really good point. Kyler Murray has a Lamar Jackson type season. Absolutely,
the potential's there. I agree.
But is the rest of Arizona, are they good enough to bring up that win? Like, can Arizona get to 10 wins with just Kyler Murray? I think they're a 500 team. Maybe a 9-7 team with the adding of DeAndre Hopkins. But as of right now, I got to go off what we're seeing for the last few years, and I've got them at 6-10. That could easily flip to 9-7. I don't think it'll go to 10-6. 8-8's more likely.
I'd be curious to see if they become a more one-dimensional offense, trying to overuse DeAndre Hopkins.
Well,
Arizona,
bringing in DeAndre Hopkins, a lot of people need to remember they still have Fitzgerald as well. So bringing in, I know you think he's old.
I do. 37.
He had a good year last year. He had an above-average year, and he was the guy.
But I think that if you have DeAndre Hopkins on one side, Fitzgerald on the other, you're double covering DeAndre Hopkins.
That's right. And Fitzgerald gets balls all day.
But
all day. He's a possession receiver now. He's going to get these 15-yard catches nonstop all day long. He'll have another bold prediction for the NFC West.
Okay.
I think Fitzgerald goes over 1,000 yards receiving this year. I don't know.
I think he's under. I think he's under.
I don't know what he had last year. If someone wants to throw up a stat for Fitzgerald,
I will find that out
for his receiving yards last year. But I think due to the addition of Hopkins, Fitzgerald gets the ball a lot due to the double coverage on Hopkins, and we'll see Fitzgerald go over 1,000 yards.
75 receptions, 804 yards.
He's going to have a better year. So I think Fitzgerald pushes 100 receptions this year, which is unbelievable, and over 1,000 yards. He had 74 for 804 last year.
75 for 804.
75 for 804 last year. I think he extends that due to Hopkins. It's the two receiver effect.
If you follow the 15-yard pass that you were talking about, yeah, he averaged 10.7 yards last year. 10.7. Wasn't in the end zone very much. His longest catch and run was 54 yards.
Okay. So here's the thing you need to know again. We're talking a lot about Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is going to create time. He's going to scramble and let Fitzgerald get away from coverage. He's a shorter distance target. He's going to be the guy.
He's quick. I'll give you he's quick. I don't know if he still has that step, though.
No, I just think Fitzgerald doesn't have to be the guy anymore. Yeah. And he slides into like the second receiver role and flourishes because of it. He'll have one, maybe two really nice years, and then call it a day.
Maybe.
I think Fitzgerald has not a breakout season because he's always been good, but I think he has the best bounce back season. I think Fitzgerald and we'll get to my bold prediction. Another player are going to have the biggest bounce back seasons in the NFL.
Floyd, before we just bounce out of here, I agree with you. Isaiah Simmons, definitely a steal in the draft. He's actually, they're touting him as one of the most versatile defenders to come out of the draft class. So yeah, it's a good pickup there.
Football is completely up in the air this year. We can pretty much say that.
Yeah. We got to enjoy it while we can because we don't know when the lights are going to go out.
That's right. So we haven't even got to the Rams. We said they're going to be terrible.
Yes.
I think you're going to see Arizona's win totals go up and the Rams maybe go down. They'll steal a win or two from them. Seattle, we're pretty much in agreement, like an 8-8, 9-7 team. Missed the playoffs.
And it really kind of falls on Russell Wilson, I think, right? Like
Russell Wilson cannot have
nobody around him.
So Russell Wilson cannot be an NFL talent, an MVP talent every year.
No.
So one of these years he's going to have an off year, and I think it's this year. He just doesn't have, there's nothing really going on in Seattle. I think might be the coach's last year.
Yes. I would agree so, yeah.
I think he's up there in age, and I don't think the coach lasts the end of the season. Well, he'll make it to the end of the season, but he might gracefully bow out, and we'll figure out what's going on with Russell after that. San Francisco, a powerhouse in my opinion.
They're amazing. I think they're going to dominate this year.
I've got them as a first round bye, the top seed in the NFC.
I believe I do as well.
Okay, so we're in agreement on San Francisco. Not really much we need to say about them. They have all the tools pretty much. Great defense. Jimmy Garoppolo might be the biggest question mark.
That's what I was just going to say. He has dominant numbers during the regular season, but during the playoffs, he's iffy. And that would be the concern that I would have for Jimmy Garoppolo.
Okay, Jimmy G.
He's got to break through. He has to break through.
I think we're gonna get to some predictions here.
Okay.
We're gonna have some fun. You've seen our predictions for the divisions. Tell us what you think. If you're watching for the first time, this is Out of Bounds. Very special edition of Out of Bounds. It is a 2020 NFL prediction show. We're doing the divisions. You've already seen that if you're watching on the replay. Now I'm going to run through, before we get there, the playoffs in the NFC. So I had New Orleans at Philadelphia. Philadelphia being a division winner. New Orleans had to travel.
Okay.
I have New Orleans still winning that game, though.
I have New Orleans in the conference finals, yes.
Okay, so you would agree with that then. Yeah. Minnesota at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay being a division winner, got the home game. I do have Tampa winning that game.
You have Tampa winning that game?
Yes.
I have Minnesota winning that game.
Okay. So, disagreement there. New Orleans then moves on to San Francisco. San Francisco will roll them at home.
I agree with you. They're going to punch them in the face.
Yeah. And another team that's going to get punched in the face, if they make it that far, are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by my Chicago Bears in the NFC Divisional Final. The Chicago Bears will absolutely smother everybody on the field and punch Brady right in the nose, and that'll be it. Moving on, we have Chicago at San Francisco. Before we get to that, we got to go back to I had Buffalo versus where's my paper at? Buffalo at Houston in the on the other side, so I'll give you my winner there.
I had Baltimore, Houston.
He had Baltimore, Houston on the AFC side of things, and your prediction?
Baltimore.
He has Baltimore as the AFC representative. I have Buffalo going to the Super Bowl for the AFC. I have, unfortunately, my Bears fall a little bit short. I have the San Francisco 49ers going from the NFC for the second year in a row.
I have the San Francisco 49ers as well.
So Brandon is picking the San Francisco 49ers against Baltimore, and he's throwing it up. He's got San Francisco winning the Super Bowl. I can't disagree with that. I have them there, but I have Buffalo. Buffalo reminds me so much of the New York Giants when they won their Super Bowls. A good quarterback. Everything else is stellar. I just think they're a complete football team, and I have the Buffalo Bills finally winning the Super Bowl.
Buffalo is a very short drive from here. If they win, we should probably go to the parade.
Well, San Francisco, if San Francisco wins and it's not orange there anymore, we'll go to San Francisco for the parade too.
If we can cross the border.
If we can cross the border. We will be able to cross the border. A few things. Let us know what you... Okay, we got a few predictions here. What if Jimmy goes down? Big Al, it doesn't matter.
Their defense is amazing.
If Jimmy Garoppolo goes down, they're still a 500 team with no quarterback. They could have a running back take a direct snap. Like, let's be honest. They got the best tight end in the league. They've got some elite wide receivers now. They have everything.
Yeah.
They have everything. The defense is fantastic. Special teams, and they got an awesome coach. So, you know what I mean? Like, they're built to win.
Problem is they have to win now, though. If they don't win now, it's gonna implode on them.
So Arlie, that's Ryan, saying there's no parity this year. A lot of tankers, a lot of 12-4 teams and 13-3. I think it's going to be the other way around. I think without fans, one of the things we talked about. Drawing teams offside this year with no crowd noise.
Yeah, you can't.
So a player that was really good, or a quarterback that was really good at trying to draw teams offside, that's not in effect anymore.
Yeah, there's no hard count like that.
So that's another reason why you're going to see a team like Seattle struggle, because they don't have the 12th man anymore.
Yep.
They really relied on that crowd to pump them up. It's not there this year. If they pump in crowd noise, okay, but it's not the same.
Don't be surprised if there is some type of controversy about an arena pumping in noise louder than they should, or something along those lines. Something like that is going to happen. You know there is.
Okay, so I'm going to give you my biggest surprise of the season. Mitch Trubisky turns out to be the guy in Chicago. I think with the weapons he has, with Kmet coming in at tight end. Look, folks, they're a running/tight end team. He's going to have the weapons to finally take the pressure off, and he's going to look a lot better. Mitch Trubisky will also start running the ball again. Before his injury last year, he was one of the most rushing quarterbacks in the league. I think he had, I want to say, almost 400 yards one year. So if he adds that back into his arsenal and uses his legs, obviously Nagy knows that. They're going to be the complete football team again this year with him. I think Trubisky wins Bounce Back Player of the Year in the NFC. And I was going to give that as a tie with Larry Fitzgerald. Actually, we talked about it.
Okay.
I think those two players are going to be your two guys we're talking about having really good years out of nowhere, Trubisky and Fitzgerald.
All right, let me get to my surprise. My surprise is coming out of retirement, Gronk is going to reestablish himself as an offensive threat. He's got a quarterback that knows how to pass to him. He's got a quarterback that has accuracy. And if you don't believe that they're going to try to defend him, I think he's going to open himself up to take a bunch of stuff in the slot and he's going to run wild. That's my biggest surprise. So don't be surprised if you see Gronkowski in the end zone 8+ times this year.
Okay. That's a good prediction. It's not a bold prediction by any means. I think
we're not bold. Biggest surprise.
Biggest surprise. Okay. Is Gronk a top 5 tight end?
Travis Kelce's first.
Yes.
Would I put him in the top 5? No, I wouldn't put him in the top 5.
He had a year off to heal and slow down. Do you want to put that out there?
He was a wrestler, though, right?
Yeah, so he did win the 24/7 title.
I wouldn't put him top 5. I'd maybe have him in the 7 spot, maybe the 6 spot.
He's a top 10 tight end just by reputation. I think that kid in Chicago, he's the new Travis Kelce. They're saying he was the steal of the draft. He was the first tight end taken. He's exactly what they needed for their offense. They didn't have a tight end for 2+ years now.
Yeah.
And they used to run the 2 tight end set. Remember the great tight ends coming out of Chicago, Greg Olsen, back when they went to the Super. You know what I mean? Like they've always had those high end tight ends. I think he's my NFC Rookie of the Year. AFC Rookie of the Year probably. I don't know. I don't know who would get NFC or AFC Rookie of the Year in my opinion. Who do you have? Did you have anybody?
AFC Rookie of the Year.
I'll give it to Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow will look pretty good being the first pick.
He's the only guy who will be able to start in such a high-profile position, and the team is going to be relying on him so much that even a 3-win season will make him look like a star.
Oh, and he's going to throw the ball.
Yeah. Well, he's got legs too, right? So I mean, he can run.
No, but he's going to throw the ball. Like this year, not so much, but next year when the fans are back, I really think he's going to light it up because they need to put people in the seats. But this is his this is kind of like his dress rehearsal for next year when they want him to light it up.
That's again bold prediction though, is I think he's going to get a season-ending injury. I think Cincinnati doesn't have anything around him. He's going to be on his back a lot.
Good running back with Mixon.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to be able to hand the ball off, though, right? They're gonna that offensive line is very porous.
Bruce Arians, good point, Floyd. I think all the coaches in the NFL, if you're a coach in the NFL, your job's not to coach to beat another team. Your job is to figure out how to beat another team, and then once the blueprint's out there for how to do it, I think other coaches jump on it.
Yeah.
So we mentioned that before, like me being a Bears fan. We mentioned how they punched the LA Rams in the face and they were never the same. 2 years ago, they still went to the playoffs and everything, but that was detrimental to them because it gave them the blueprint on how to beat the Rams.
Arlie, I like your comment. The thing about what I find with Brady and Gronk is that Brady is always going to know where Gronk is going to be at because of the chemistry they had when they were in New England. So I liken the relationship more to like a Brady and Julian Edelman, where Brady he knew where Edelman was going to be at all times, and it didn't matter what was happening around the rest of the field. He could pinpoint where Edelman was at, and I think that's the kind of relationship that he's going to have with Gronk this year. Just as he's my comfort zone, I'm going to work the ball into him if I'm not going down the field. And he'll be more like a safety blanket. Not necessarily situational. I think that don't be surprised if you see him thrown to maybe once every 6 times.
So he's not going to get as many targets. He's also a good
I don't think he'll get as many targets.
He's also a good blocking tight end, so we got to bring that in. That's going to help Fournette.
And with Leonard Fournette, yep.
So my biggest shock, I've already mentioned it, was the Rodgers trade talks.
Okay.
That's going to be my biggest shock of the year. I think Aaron Rodgers will be a Green Bay Packer for this year. I don't think he'll be dealt during the season because of COVID and whatnot. I don't think you're going to see a lot of players move from team to team because of COVID. But I think Aaron Rodgers plays his last game as a Green Bay Packer this year. Whether that be before the season ends or during the season. Just one of those things. NFC MVP, who do you have?
NFC MVP. I'm going to check my phone. Can't remember.
All right. While he's doing that, I will give you my NFC MVP. My NFC conference, or National Football Conference MVP. A little bit of a surprise because everybody thinks he gets it done with his supporting cast. I think Jimmy Garoppolo will be the NFC MVP this year. I think he's going to put up one hell of a season. He's got some big targets there with Travis Kelce. I think San Francisco's the best team in the NFC by far. In a conference that's full of elite quarterbacks, though, I think he's going to stand out. Just having Travis Kelce as his number one target at a tight end, I just think he's gonna have a monster year again. Any idea?
I'm just going in right now.
We'll come back to it. We both actually had the exact same AFC MVP, so I'll let you go ahead.
Lamar Jackson.
So Lamar Jackson is probably the league MVP. If they, overall, I think Lamar Jackson's the best player in football. A lot of people are going to say, "Oh, not Patrick Mahomes." Well, Patrick Mahomes doesn't do it on his feet either. So Lamar Jackson is by far. Just go by fantasy stats. It's a good parameter to use. Like, what kind of numbers are these guys putting up? And Lamar Jackson should be your number one pick in fantasy this year, hands down. Usually it goes to a running back, but I think because he's such a versatile double threat, I think Lamar has to be your top pick in fantasy. Is he still going? Is he going one across the board in fantasy?
He is.
Yeah.
Followed
by Saquon,
pretty
probably.
Much the unanimous. Yeah.
It probably goes Lamar, Saquon, and then probably still Ezekiel Elliott's in there. Chubb. Running backs usually go in the top 5, but with Lamar being such a running threat too, Kyler Murray's probably up there. Kyler Murray's probably a top 10 for sure because
it's one of the things
threat.
I didn't look at.
Fantasy's weird. Like fantasy, I think I drafted Deshaun Watson in like the 6th round. Because it's always running backs and receivers first.
Well, they get you the most points, right?
That's right.
Because they get the most touches.
But when you have a guy like Patrick Mahomes that puts up an insane amount of fantasy points just at the quarterback position, when you throw in Lamar who can do the same but on his feet as well, get you 500-600 rushing yards a year, it's just the double whammy. You can't pass on it. Lamar Jackson reminds me so much of a guy like a bigger Michael Vick. You know what I mean? Like just. Michael Vick changed the game.
And his speed was,
and now Lamar's just unbelievable. So back to the NFC. Did you find an MVP for me?
No, I don't even have
skip
an MVP yet.
My biggest shock, my bold prediction to end all bold predictions and finish off the show tonight. First of all, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This was a very special episode of Out of Bounds. I want to thank everybody for joining in the chat. Join us tomorrow night for Singles Night, 50 cards in 50 minutes. We do that every Thursday night at 8 p.m. here on YouTube and on Facebook. It's simulcast. But if you haven't done so and you enjoyed watching the programming tonight, definitely hit the like and subscribe button and leave some comments what you think. Maybe we're crazy, maybe we're not. If you agree or disagree, be nice about it. We are just having fun. But anyways, my bold prediction to finish off the night. The Super Bowl will take place this year in a stadium full of fans.
It's completely what mine is not. I do not have anything remotely close to that for my bold prediction.
So I think that America, being America, will get a vaccine early in 2021 for COVID, and the very first sold-out stadium event will be the Super Bowl, and it'll be the biggest deal ever. It takes the Super Bowl from being a must-see event to it will bring so it's kind of like 9/11. It will bring the country back together. It'll be everybody will watch, everybody will be dying for it. Well, no pun intended.
Yeah.
But it will be the first major sporting event in North America to have full capacity, and it'll be business as usual.
That is bold. Mine is that the COVID-19 will prematurely end the NFL season. I do not think that NFL players can stay in a bubble. I do think that there's going to be a ton of outbreaks in terms of teams.
Well, you would think that, but I agree. So it's either gonna run all the way or it's gonna be completely shut down.
It will be something where they are going to have to extend the season to we may be seeing the Super Bowl played in June. Or July.
It could happen.
You know what I mean? I just don't foresee them having the discipline And I mean the proximity to each other when they're playing, right? Like, I mean, I don't know what the testing measures are going to look like, if they're going to be tested every day like the NHLers are. But I do foresee that at some point there is going to be an outbreak in the NFL and they're going to have to shut the season down.
Okay, I can agree to that in an extent, but my point of that would be, why hasn't it happened yet? If you don't think NFL players can be in a bubble, right now they're practicing and they're in the bubble.
But they're not traveling near as much as
no,
they will
I
be
understand,
when they are
but
with the season.
I understand. But a 53-man roster was just named for each team. That's 53 people that go home to their families, that go out for groceries, that do this, go that. You know what I mean? If it was going to happen, it would have happened.
I don't know. Don't be surprised that once things start to get rolling, when the season starts to roll, players start to become a little lax, and the next thing you know, 1 player's got it, 10 players got it.
No, I totally understand
the
the outbreak. I totally understand the chances of an outbreak, but maybe they're just keeping it quiet right now. Maybe there have been outbreaks.
You know what? They very well could be protecting the shield right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, for all we know, they might just say,
because we've
got none.
I honestly can't see, because those players, to my knowledge, are able to go home at the end of the day and travel to and from practice. They're not staying in a hotel and being bussed in, from what I understand.
But I think that's the travel part, the going to stay in a hotel when we're going out for dinner, when we're going out, after the game, like, these are all the downtime things that football players get used to, and I think that someone's going to end up in a nightclub, and they're going to end up with infecting
strip
the
club
entire
for
team.
chicken wings, according to Floyd. So tell us what you guys think. We'll stay on until 8:30. If you guys have any questions, too funny, two names, yeah. So any final questions on our NFL prediction show tonight? I thought it went very well.
Yeah, I thought this was great. This was really well.
This was a lot of fun.
We are talking about doing an NHL draft.
And that got moved up. So the NHL draft was just moved up to a Tuesday and Wednesday. So we will be live on Tuesday night here in Rocket Sports Cards in Chatham, Ontario. We will have the draft going on with live reaction for the first round of the draft. That's going to be a long show. It's like a 3-hour...
It's going to be long, yeah.
It's going to be... Well, maybe not so much this year because of the no fans and they don't have to walk on stage with the jersey type thing. But
maybe, yeah.
I found that NFL went a lot quicker when they did it no fans.
Well, you didn't hear a lot of boos for Goodell.
Yeah.
Think they pumped in the boos for Goodell?
They will pump in the boos for Gary Bettman. But Tuesday night, October the 6th, I believe now?
6th, yeah.
That will be our next special presentation on Out of Bounds. Out of Bounds will be coming to you live on Monday night with our traditional, be our 4th episode.
Yes.
So if you haven't watched any yet, definitely go back and do so. If you're watching on the replay, thank you for tuning in. Like and subscribe to the channel. My name is Mike Lucio. I'm the host. Brandon's the co-host. I guess we're both co-hosts, I guess, then. Yep. So join us Monday night. Join us tomorrow night for singles night if you feel free to do so. Exclusive content coming up on YouTube pretty soon. Definitely Monday night. Topics for Monday night.
We don't tell you the topics.
Can we give them the one? Number 1 topic for Monday night. What is the most dangerous sport to play? Definitely a conversation starter. We look forward to you guys can simmer over that through the week and on the weekend, and we'll be back Monday nights. And we want to thank everybody for tuning in. All I know is it's going to be an awesome NFL season, hopefully, and I'm really excited for it. How are you watching the games?
I'll be streaming.
So I have DAZN. We did talk streaming on DAZN.
Yes.
So we did talk about on Out of Bounds. How do you watch your games? What format? Cable? Streaming? So I have DAZN so I can watch my Bears games.
I'm actually pretty excited because I have a 70-inch television, so it's going to be big.
Hockey Card Night in Canada, definitely we need to bring that back. That's definitely something we're going to do. That's probably good. Hockey Card Night in Canada will probably coincide with the NHL draft in between picks. We can do something.
Oh, cool.
We'll figure something out. I'm an idea guy. We'll figure it out. So yeah, thank you for tuning in, and we're both really looking forward to it. Buffalo, San Francisco are our picks to win the Super Bowl if it happens. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Take care.